This gives you an idea of how powerful the agitator is. I'm doing 2 sheets, a fitted and a flat sheet in the laundry right now.
Good morning and welcome to the first episode of Mama Bought What? Today I'm going to be reviewing the most amazing product. It is the Costaway Twin Tub Washer. I bought it on Amazon, and no, I'm not being endorsed for this review. I just really felt obligated to put it out there because it has completely changed the way that I do our laundry. Basically, I live in a very small living space with my husband and my 2-year-old daughter, and I was hand washing our clothes, and it got to be so stressful and so hard that I began looking for an alternative way to do our wash. I didn't want to invest in something that was, apartment sized, because that can run easily anywhere between $500 to $700, and with the objective of eventually moving out of a small space, we decided to settle with this guy. So basically, there is no dryer. It says it is a spin dryer, but that basically is the extraction part of your washing cycle. This particular machine does not self-extract the water out. It works by gravity. So that is a con to using this machine, but it does an incredible job, and I'll show you every little part of it in just a minute. The Costaway Twin Tub Washer has 2 different cycles. It has a soft cycle and a normal cycle, as well as your drain option, which I'll show you in a second. It has a spin time of approximately 5 minutes. The booklet recommends 3 to 2 minutes for extracting soapy suds, and of course 5 minutes for extracting clean water after you've washed your clothes to get them pretty dry so that they're ready for hanging. It goes up to 15 minutes for your wash time. I typically use the 15 minutes every time, but if it's a lighter load and it's not that soiled, I'll go for 12. You'll notice that it has 2 water inlets. These guys are for filling the washer with water. Unfortunately, the adapter that it comes with to hook up to your sink just does not work with most of, well, anybody's kitchen sinks, and I'll show you exactly why. This is the dude that you would be working with. You can see how small it is. It's a little bit flexible, but there's no rings on the inside, so there's nothing to really attach it to your sink. I'm sure that if you had a little bit of a DIY inspiration, you could find an adapter. Unfortunately, my sink just does not work with this. So, yeah, that's basically that. Go home, you're drunk. So instead of filling it with the funky, wonky, tubey thing, I basically just use about 5 little tubs of water, and I'll show you what I use for that. To manually self-fill the twin tub washer, I use this cooking pot, which holds about, I would say, at least a gallon of water. This machine can hold an 11-pound capacity, and it takes about 4 to 5 of these guys to fill it up nicely. So what I like to start with is just by adding my soap. And remember, this is a much smaller machine than what you're used to, so you're only going to want to use. This is seriously all you're going to need. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when you've put all your clothes in. You kind of squished them down. You don't want to overload this thing. That's a really bad idea. But you can fit, about 5 to 6 larger garments. I can actually do an entire load with my daughter's laundry, but again, she's only 2 years old. So you'll see the filter here. This is going to catch kind of like your lint, and I usually fill the water up to about this point. That way it's not too stressful on the machine, but it still gets the clothes nice and agitated and clean. So now we're going to shut it, and we're going to start the machine. I'm going to go ahead and use a soft cycle, and I just turn this to the 15-minute mark, and there she goes. It works by spinning the clothes in one direction and then the opposite. You can see it's pretty strong. Okay, so the machine just stopped, and as you can see, look at that disgusting, sorry, I gotta focus here, disgusting water. That is awesome. That makes me feel quite confident. So now we just gotta switch it to drain. I know, right? And there's our water. I'm gonna start dumping. Now that I've emptied out all of the soapy water, it's time to extract the soap. So we're just gonna put them a couple at a time. You usually have to split your load in half, depending on how many clothes you have in your washer. So I've got my clothes in here, and I'm just gonna put this little dude right on top and squish him down a little. He's gonna act like a salad spinner, and it's just gonna suck all the water out. I know, right? You push that down. Make sure it's on drain. Twist it to 3 minutes. Word of advice. Now obviously the way I do it is kind of tedious by using the metal pot to dump all the water out and to fill the machine. What I would recommend, as soon as I can get my hands on some wood, what I'd like to do is build a table that would be able to hold the weight of this washer on it, and then I would just be able to use this tube to drop into the tub and just let gravity do its thing. So after you've gone ahead and extracted the soap from your clothes, you can fill the wash tub again with clean water, run another washing cycle to get all the soap out, and then you can extract them and then they're ready to dry. Yeah!
It's going out.
Totally.
It's going out.
I know.
Yeah, cool house.
I like to use this metal hanger that I bought off Walmart.com. It's pretty easy, it's collapsible, so it's not always in the way. The clothes are usually ready to go in about 6 to 7 hours. I hope you enjoyed this review for the Costway Twin Tub Washer. Thanks for watching Mama Bought What, and I'll see you next time. Say bye-bye.
Here's this one.
There's what?
Here's.
I know most people are making reviews on this Giantex mini washer, but really this is going to be a video about tips and things I didn't know when it came to using this washer. First of all, yes, it really does have to be elevated quite high to really gravity drain as it's supposed to. I have mine on a little $10 table that I got from Walmart, and that elevates it pretty good. As you can see here, I have my hose in my bucket. By the way, this is a 5-gallon bucket. It takes 2 of these buckets to fill up the washed side of this washer. And really, it's not even fully full. It's about here is where I fill it up. And you know, if you're going to be dumping water into your washer like I am, and you know you don't have it hooked up to a sink or your shower, only 2 of these buckets go in the wash side, and that fills it up to the H line, which is the highest it could go. And mostly for small loads, like if you're going to be washing, say, your work uniform, and your uniform only consists of like 2 to 3 pairs of pants and maybe 3 to 4 shirts, I would suggest just using the 5 bucket. Like, just use 1 bucket. It pretty much does good. The washing mechanism, this disc that spins the clothes, spins it pretty damn hard. So only using 5 gallons of water is pretty much all it needs. And you really do just need the tiniest amount of soap. I have here the Gain, and this little top right here, I pretty much only fill it up to right here. Pretty much, if it coats the bottom of the cap, that's as much soap as I use. I made the mistake of using a little more than that, and it was Bubble City in there. It took 2 rinses to rinse away all the bubbles. So really, be very tight with the soap. Don't get crazy with the soap, because you're gonna have a very big bubble situation on your hands. Another thing is this little disc right here. This comes with your washer. Make sure it's nice and flat on your clothes. At one point I had spun a load and it wasn't much. It was honestly maybe like a shirt and some shorts and a few socks, and this thing was rattling like crazy. And I thought I had overloaded the spin side, but it wasn't the case. It was that this disc wasn't flat. It was slightly askewed, and that was enough to make the clothes spin like crazy. So whenever you use it, you know, you might not actually be overloading the spin side. It might just be that the disc is, you know, slightly off. So realign your disc, and if you spin it and it's still going crazy, you know, might want to take some clothes out. But also with this thing, I find the best way to make sure your clothes are going to be spun correctly is that if you push it down slightly. Don't push it like you're going to detach this little spinning mechanism. Just, you know, slightly pat it down. If it's, you know, up here and you just try to snap it right here like this, you know, it's going to take longer. It's going to spin and it's going to push itself down. You might as well help your spin side along and just push it a little bit. Helps with the spinning. Also, if you are cheap like me, you know, you work in like a minimum wage job and you scrape together your little pennies to get this baby right here, and you don't want to buy a drying rack to dry your clothes, I suggest getting these little snap clips that I got at Walmart. I believe they were only $4 for 12 of them, and they just snap right onto your hanger. I pretty much just use them for like my socks, my underwear, my bras, things that don't go on a hanger. You know, you could put shorts and, you know, shirts on a hanger, you know, just use that. And that was way cheaper than buying a drying rack, and that's what I'm here for, is the cheapness. Also,
it stops about every 3 seconds and changes direction. But you can see it's washing pretty good. Now it'll go the other way. So you can see it will run when the lid is up. I'll be back for the spin cycle.
¿qué van a foto?